Just sit right back and you hear a tale of Jupiter at night that started on the internet before a live audience.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jupiter at Night, the leading #1 nightly online live high-definition video podcast. My name is Chris.
In your face. My name's Alan.
I'm flabbergasted.
Hey there, J-Man.
That was a really epic sounding intro. I didn't know we were that impressive.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
cool.
Our
Good for
ratings,
us.
we sort of do a tabulation at the end of each month, and our operations manager gets that together to me and gives me a nice rundown of all the numbers, shows me the growth and things like that. And I guess I'm not really supposed to say the number out loud for some sort of reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's for advertisers. I don't know.
Internet.
But it's really good, and the show is doing extremely well. So
I think we worked out that it was approximately some form of math increase.
Right. I believe
Yeah.
it was math plus math equaled the number
Exponentially?
which was better than the number previously, which was better than the number previously.
And that's thanks to you.
And then there was some sort of math curve. I don't know. Hey, so tonight we're talking about something that's wicked crazy, and it's more one of these concept episodes because, well, sometimes we just like to shoot the S with you guys and get your thoughts. And one of the things that Alan kind of pointed out in our pre-show prep, which is kind of embarrassing if you watch that live, you'd see us going, oh. Alan's like, hey, you guys realize we've done a lot of these like end of the world type shows?
They always think the world's going to end and that we're going to die.
You know what it is? It's like we like to noodle on it. So we've got another one for you tonight. In fact, the story came
Where we
out.
all could have died.
Yeah, well, put yourself in the situation. J-Man, tell us about the story that came out.
Okay, I will actually tell you also the story of me discovering this story.
Oh, all right.
Because it
Tail
actually
within the tail.
It actually
I like
scared
that.
me a little bit when it came out. Apparently, okay, they've been in India. They've been excavating these ancient city sites, and they came across one that was somewhere between 8,000 and 12,000 years old. Awesome.
Yeah.
Ancient history is amazing.
It was
And these
buried.
guys were, buried very deep in India. These guys were really pretty advanced for that timeline. So it's potentially, if this city would have progressed, it could have been one of the great civilizations of the world.
Whoa, really?
But it didn't.
What happened?
We don't really know
We don't
yet.
know.
They're still excavating. But this story that I came across on the internet.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
You've got to check it out. It's going to be big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This story says that the entire area where this city was found is intensely irradiated.
Oh, really?
And this led to a whole gigantic story being concocted about this ancient civilization being destroyed by nuclear weaponry.
Is it normal for them to have like Geiger counters?
well,
when they're
I guess
excavating?
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, now,
Like how'd they find that out? Was someone like, ooh, it's kind of burning
Well,
how
in
did
this
ancient
area.
civilization get nuked? Ancient, like the territory got nuked after they're already dead?
I'll be honest, it's all a big hoax. It's just a big load of hooey. I basically did a little more digging, and there's some pretty well-known people out there that have said this is crap.
Really?
This never
Well,
happened.
You know, it
Is
sounded a little fishy.
Did they
to be honest
dig and
with you.
find a civilization?
Well, yeah, that
Well,
much
that
is true.
part's real, yeah.
And
Okay,
the ground is
and-
irradiated.
Okay.
And they think the ground's irradiated from like weapons testing, maybe.
India has had a pretty substantial nuclear research line
History.
for
Yeah.
a number of years. Like
Couldn't
I think
quite
several decades.
figure it out.
Well,
It always came so
know,
this
close.
area where they found this city, where they're digging it up,
Yeah.
used to be a waste dump, basically.
Oh, really?
Do they know it was a city?
Well, obviously not, dude. They're wasting their dump. They're dumping their waste.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You know what the first thing...
which is probably the reason they had Geiger counters when they were digging it up.
They might have known.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
they totally.
I don't know
okay.
exactly why my brain connects this way, but one of the first things that my brain goes to is like the Chernobyl type stories where you have that nuclear plant over in Russia that in the Soviet era that
That did bad things.
yeah, well, it started overheating, it started melting the building, and they had tried to seal it, and of course, we've
They
all
tried
heard,
pouring concrete over it, and it
Yeah.
just kept seeping through the concrete.
and we've all heard the horror stories, and
Whoops.
this kind of thing, it just seems like it's so weird that we have the ability to flip a switch and harm ourselves in
Destroy the world.
in such tragic ways.
Yeah.
And so you got to wonder when you see this kind of stuff, do you think maybe that's how they'll find us one day?
I kind of think
Like-
about it. Actually, I got to admit, quite
Of course,
honestly,
you guys think about it.
one of the reasons that this story resonates with me is because the fear of atomic decimation of the entire
Yeah.
planet is the most primal fear I possess.
Do you think it's going to happen in your lifetime?
I fear that it will.
Well, why couldn't it?
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think
I think
that
maybe
it's-
my kids, like,
we
yeah,
have,
Dylan,
like-
sorry, whoops. Like, not my kid, your kid.
Well, why
But-
not though? Why not?
He's not your kid?
There's
No.
more people. There's more peeps. There's more people with nuclear weapons now than there ever have been. I would just pose this to you though.
Yeah.
The concept is, if the world was wiped out and either some sort of small civilization, some area, some patch survived somehow, they would be so resource strained. They would essentially be starting over.
Yep.
And they would rebuild. And by the time people rebuild,
That is the entire concept of the Fallout series of games.
is it?
I mean, not the entire concept. There's also
they're-
fun
Are they
and
return?
guns.
So like the wreckage I see in Fallout, is that from their own civilization or is that from a past civilization?
Past.
Yeah, it's all.
See, my
Most of
thinking
it is.
Yeah.
My thinking is that seems more compressed. My thinking is like a small patch of people would survive, and then they would be so resource constrained they'd start over like basic early man did, and they would build civilization, and then they would start. That civilization would be getting to our level and be uncovering us. So they would start over. By that time, everything would be gone pretty much. I guess some things must still be around.
So
but-
conceptually, the story that we just heard about from India could, at one point in the distant future, be real.
yeah.
That's what you're
It'd
getting.
be, it'd be like us uncovering them will be somebody uncovering us because of something we do to ourselves.
But you got to figure that they'd know. They would keep some kind of history or some kind of legend about
you do
our
gotta figure,
civilization.
but-
Although think about it, there's so much stuff on the internet right now. If it was gone, through nuclear weapons releasing
Right.
the EMP pulse, the
if you
fries.
just-
But the people would know, like, hey, these idiots put lit off nukes and we
well,
all
let's
died.
not kid ourselves. I mean, if what was that? Remember War Games? There's like that
Yeah.
scene where there's like 40 Russian nuclear missiles coming into the American. I mean, that kind of impact would incinerate everything.
Not the astronauts that are up in space.
It would also leave the planet
Yeah.
basically inhabitable for several hundred years at least.
I guess that would be our only living record would be the people up there. By the time they rebuilt on Earth and got up there, they could find the machinery.
Yeah.
If it hadn't fallen.
The cloud
I probably
of
would have
satellites.
fallen by that if they were within, because eventually we get pulled down by the
It's kind of a
gravitational
weird
pull.
concept, you guys, because it could be a totally scorched kind of Earth, and then it's
Oh,
like-
it would be if it went down. Oh man! But that's the thing. If it goes down, I don't know why it works. It's not going to be like no one's going to be irradiated. No one's going to be like half killed. We're all going to die like that.
That's
if it
why
happens.
it frightens me to the
Yeah.
core, because it's
Whatever,
not
then
just
it's
my
just gonna
death; it's the
happen.
end of civilization.
You
It's
know,
the end
as
of
long as everyone
everything.
goes out with me,
Yeah, I can
I'm
do
not
that.
going to be missing out on anything. It's not like I'm missing out on some party.
I never
or
got to
like,
see the next Super
my
Bowl.
friend's
Oh, I hear
birthday
that.
or
No, I hear
something.
that.
Like we're all dead.
Yeah.
Like perfect.
No
as
problem.
long as everyone's with me.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Sure, I just was kind of. That's why I don't really care. But I do kind of wonder. Only way I would care is if future people or aliens were uncovering us, and I just kind of curious what they would discover.
I'd be so
about us.
embarrassed.
That's kind of what
I
was
hope we
thinking.
get to prepare so I can be in like a funny pose.
Oh yeah.
Just like
especially-
really try to confuse them. Like, wait a second, I thought we had these people figured out.
Especially if it
then
gets
we
like
found
the-
this
you know,
guy,
the
and I don't
Flash.
get it.
Do like a pose so your shadow makes even more awesome pose
Yeah.
from the Flash. It's like this great shadow.
Try to
puppet.
like set up your house really quick so
Do
it
the
looks all
bat
different
thing.
and backwards. So they find it and they're like, "What the hell? Were some of these
shadow-
people upside down?"
The shadow of yourself and all your furniture makes like a dinosaur impression
Right.
on the
Yeah,
on the wall.
That'd be cool.
or F you.
Yeah. Just go down with both fingers in the air.
Oh wow. Okay, so maybe we may manage to turn this into a little bit more lighter of a show, but
You're welcome.
I think it's funny that both
Debbie
you guys
Downers.
both you guys went to Fallout. I can totally tell where your head's
Well,
at.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna end up talking about Fallout a lot more on Lotso. Yeah, this Friday, live. In fact,
In front of your face.
speaking of live, Jupiter at Night is live Tuesday through Thursday, and we do this at 8 p.m. Pacific. I don't know exactly what that is at your time, but if you go over to jupiterbroadcasting.com,
I think we're in the midst of some of the parts of the world are changing by
Yeah,
an hour.
it's all changing.
Oh.
We're about to change.
Oh,
but if you
no.
go over to jupiterbroadcasting.com/calendar, we've got a converter over there. You plug in your time zone, you plug in us, Pacific, and then it does the magic.
Internet.
So that's incredible. So you can join us at 8 p.m. or whatever that converts to at your time live, jupiterbroadcasting.com/live, and then join us for Lotso, because this
Ow.
guy and I will be talking about
And Justin.
And
yeah.
live.
Yeah.
Now we officially have made Stoked. Every
know.
Saturday is live.
Boom.
I meant to say this at the top of the show, so I'm probably gonna have to repeat myself. Nobody watches the end of the show.
You should.
The Hackintosh works so far.
Yeah.
Follow up to the Hackintosh. I meant to talk about this earlier, but if you watched the last week's episode, we spent the week rebuilding our Hackintosh.
Mm-hmm.
Our true test was Saturday. The new Star Trek Online episode came out, and the kind of old rule of thumb was if we were going to get this thing to crash, you could always get to crash doing Star Trek Online, and it played through the whole day fine.
Perfectly.
So that's
Nice.
its first test.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's pretty exciting.
So we're going to basically spend this week putting it through its paces behind the scene and then possibly have it replace our streaming machine next week.
maybe we will see. So
So good news there.
yeah. Well, all right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for watching tonight's episode of Jupiter at Night, and we'll see you tomorrow night.